All right, Scream fans, what's your favorite scary movie? Is it Scream 7? Because it's coming out this week, and I am ready to give you a spoiler-free final preview of Scream 7. Please leave a like on the video and comment anything I might have missed or anything you want to discuss. I'm Alex from Sandro Says. Let's get into it. All right, Scream 7 comes out February 27th, although early previews on the 26th. That's when I'm seeing it. This movie is the first one since 2023, when we had Scream 6. Duh. Couple notes. This movie could very well take Scream over the $1 billion mark as a franchise. Every Scream movie has crossed $100 million worldwide, except Scream 4. Apparently that's the black sheep of the series. So if this movie does as well as it's projected to do, currently they're sitting at $911 million worldwide as a franchise. So long as this one just does $89 million, they crossed the $1 billion mark, which is crazy for a horror franchise that was kind of made as a rebuke of horror. So anyway, this is Sidney's return to the franchise. Sidney Prescott, played by Neve Campbell. It will be her 6th movie. However, it also features the return of Gale Weathers, played by Courtney Cox, in her 7th movie, which actually ties her with Laurie Strode from Halloween, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, for the most appearances in a horror franchise by one person. Now, there's an asterisk with Jamie Lee Curtis because she died in one of her appearances in Halloween Resurrection. She was in the movie for about 10 minutes and died in the beginning. It wasn't even the climax or anything. So if Courtney Cox survives this movie, she will have technically passed Jamie Lee Curtis. And I believe Jamie Lee Curtis, after all, I did a little research, that she was the only one that had played the same character throughout. If we just count Laurie Strode, then you have to count, Scout Taylor Compton and stuff. So I'm just doing one person playing a single character. Pretty badass that Courtney Cox has been here through the entire series. So that's awesome for her, and it's good to see her back. So they've also been pretty forward that there's a return of Matthew Lillard in some capacity in this movie. I mean, even the advertising leading up to it has been Lillard mentioned. They've been, they've done interviews with him, how he's coming back to the franchise. For those of you not aware, Matthew Lillard played Stu in the original movie, one of the two killers, and he was slated to come back in Scream 3 way back in 2000, and he was meant to be one of the masterminds behind the killers. So that's a plot thread that has been sitting there for years. I personally went into Scream 5 and Scream 6 wondering if Matthew Lillard's Stu was going to be involved. However, he wasn't. But in 7, it's pretty clear he is. I don't know if it's going to be AI or if it's going to be actually him. There has been some shots in the trailers of a mental institution and shots of Sidney from when she was that age. So it's possible it's Stu or it's someone that thinks they're Stu. I don't know. But that's pretty interesting to see. I don't know what they're going to do with him, but he's probably my favorite character from the franchise just because of, outside of Sidney, because of how wild he is, and he's so quotable. His acting was off the wall, and it just really fit well with that 1996 era. So if he does come back and it is him and not just an AI, representation of him, I'm interested to see what that all is about. So are there other returns? I mean, we know that the Mints, whatever, the twins from 5 and 6, they come back with Gale Weathers. So all 3 of them are returning. Sidney's obviously returning. Is anyone else going to surprise us? Is Dewey actually alive? In one of the trailers, you can almost kind of hear Dewey's voice. They've done it before where they killed someone and then they came back. They did it with Hayden Panettiere as I don't know how to say her name, I'm so sorry. But they did it with Kirby from Scream 4 to Scream 6, so they could easily do something where Dewey went into witness protection or whatever after he got stabbed in Scream 5. It would be interesting to see. So otherwise, I know that they have said that both Sam and Tara from the previous movies aren't in this. You never know. Scream likes to surprise things. Maybe someone comes back at the last second. That could be one of the big reveals. Who knows? I do want to say it's pretty cool that the first trailer for Scary Movie 6 is playing before Scream 7. That's amazing. It's the Wayans brothers returning to Scary Movie for the first time since Scary Movie 2. I'm only familiar with the first 2 Scary movies. I never saw 3, 4, and 5. It's not because the Wayans brothers weren't in them. It's just because I wasn't interested when I saw trailers and stuff. And at that point, the parody movies were getting silly. But Scary Movie 1 and 2, I saw a million times growing up. So very excited to see them returning. And it's always been tied to the Scream franchise. So it's nice to see that they're, when Scream is having a revival, Scary Movie is coming back to life with the original creators, which is amazing. So, all right. Now let's get into a brief overview of the plot and some other things going on. So this plot revolves around Sidney's daughter. So it's been 30 years since the original attacks on Woodsboro, the murders that Sidney survived, and her daughter, named Tatum, after her good friend Tatum, from the played by Rose McGowan, who was murdered in the first movie. Tatum is played by Isabel May in this movie, so she's a 16 or 17-year-old surrogate for Sidney. Apparently they have a rough relationship where, in the trailer they show that she wears Sidney's old jacket, or an old jacket from something, and it freaks Sidney out. Sidney's obviously protective of her because of what's happened in the past. And now Ghostface is back in their life, and he's terrorizing Sidney and the daughter because of Sidney. The interesting thing we notice is there's a new husband in the movie. Joel McHale plays Mark Evans. It seems to be Sidney's husband and Tatum's father, although in the trailer they show pretty clearly that he gets attacked early in the movie. I'm not sure if he's just incapacitated for the whole movie, because it would be silly to show him getting murdered in the trailer before the movie even starts. But either way, he does not, there's scenes where he's in it, and then all of a sudden, if in the trailer at least, they could just be creative editing, but it looks like he's attacked early and taken out of the picture. The interesting thing is, though, his name is Mark. In Scream 3, Sidney was basically seen at the end starting to date Patrick Dempsey's Detective Mark Kincaid. And in Scream 5 and 6, Sidney mentions in 5 that Mark is doing well with the kids, or kid, I don't know what they say at the time. And then in Scream 6, when Sidney doesn't show up, they say, no, her and Mark are safe and away, she deserves a happy ending, whatever. It seems that they probably were hedging their bets that maybe we can get Patrick Dempsey back, because why else would you keep that name Mark alive? And especially in movies, you don't usually name, the new love interest after the old one, unless if they were really trying to get Patrick Dempsey back and they couldn't. It didn't line up schedule-wise, and they said, Joel McHale's pretty awesome, but especially if they're going to kill the guy pretty early in the movie, or at least he's just there as a knife, fodder, then what are you going to do? So I understand. But it is interesting that they replaced a Mark with a Mark. And they kind of set it up that the guy was coming back, but he didn't. So even if Stu does come back, who is he controlling in Woodsboro? Stu, even if he's locked up or whatever, he wouldn't be able to do the killings himself. So he's probably reaching out and corrupting youth around Tatum, which is what always happens in these movies. It's the friends group. And they've shown a couple friends already that are wearing the classic blue flannel. Blue flannel in all the previous movies has denoted the killer. So they'd wear it in earlier scenes, and then when the killer's revealed, it's like, oh crap, that person was wearing blue flannel earlier. I wonder if the directors and the producers know about that now and would play on that expectation, because otherwise it's just, it's cool to see, but are they really telling us who the killers in the friend group are from production stills before it comes out? I hope not. So we'll see what happens with that, and we'll see what of our friends group turns out to be the killer. Maybe it's someone from a past movie. Maybe it's someone good turned evil. I don't know. They've really built this movie up in an interesting way, and I'm excited to see it. The last two movies were great, and this one just seems to be a complete pivot in a different direction, but using the Scream entity, which is what we all kind of want. And something I've heard rumors of, I don't want to mention any names of other people that are confirmed coming back or not, because I don't know what way they would bring people back that are definitively killed in previous movies, so to speak, people that got shot in the head, perhaps. But there's potentially scenes with AI, and that worries me because I don't know what that's going to entail. If it's just going to be dream sequences or memories, that's one thing. If we're going to have full-on AI, like the Danger Room and the X-Men, and it's like an AI Ghostface history, I just see. So please, not too much AI. But otherwise, I am pumped about this movie. I'm really excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see who survives, who dies, how Matthew Lillard is weaved back into the franchise, if he makes it, and what goes on in general. So please, let me know your thoughts. Please also leave a like and a subscribe on the video if you're new here. Totally helps me in the algorithm. And I will see you next time on Sandro Says. Take care.